They're not just trying to stop you from printing a firearm receiver. They're trying to stop you from printing anything that they don't approve of. Welcome back to the studio. This is part 4 of our deep dive into the war on 3D printing. And if you think I'm being a little bit overdramatic, I need you to listen very carefully to the next 60 seconds. Because before I tell you where this is going, I need to show you where we already are. This isn't a sci-fi movie. These are real legislative bills with real intent, written by real people who don't understand anything that we do. First, Washington State House Bill 2321. This isn't a maybe. This bill explicitly requires 3D printer manufacturers to install blocking technology. Spyware. Your printer will have to scan every single file that you slice, and if it doesn't like the shape, a trigger guard, a firearm receiver, or maybe just a geometric model or shape that looks like one, it bricks the print. Then there's Washington House Bill 2320, which we haven't even covered in this. This one targets the files themselves, among other things. It criminalizes the possession of digital firearm manufacturing code. STLs, G-code, let that sink in. Having a file on your hard drive, just having it can make you a felon. Even if you didn't intend to print it, you were just storing it, you're guilty, and in court, you have to prove that you're innocent. It's thought crime for engineers. And in New York, Assembly Bill A2228 proposes mandatory criminal background checks to just buy a 3D printer. You'll need state approval to buy a tool that melts plastic. That's the reality. That is today. But the laws don't stop. They evolve and they expand. In my previous video, I go into great detail on how government scope creep is real and that it's not much of a stretch to imagine that these symptoms won't stop with firearm shapes. It'll be full copyright and IP control. It's DRM for the real physical world. So what happens next? What happens a few years from now when these bills have passed and the technology is matured? When the safety features are mandatory and the blacklist is global? Let's take a walk down that rabbit hole because I have a feeling I know exactly what this world looks like. First, the makerspace dies. You can't have big, beautiful shops with printers lining the walls anymore. It's too much of a liability. If one student prints one banned file, the whole shop gets raided. So the printers disappear from schools. They disappear from libraries. Innovation goes dark. You can't order filament to your house anymore. A box labeled Polymaker or Bamboo on your porch. That's probable cause. That's a flag. So we start hiding. 3D printing moves to the basement, under tarps, behind soundproof foam, because the neighbors might report the noise. And getting a printer, you don't just click buy now anymore. That list is tracked. Instead, you drive 3 hours across state lines to a parking lot. You pay cash to a guy who knows a guy with an old ender he never registered. You throw away the box miles from your house so your neighbors don't see it in the trash. You can't trust an updated slicer. It's reporting you. Every time you hit slice, it sends a digital fingerprint of your geometry to the cloud. If you design something new, something the algorithm doesn't recognize, it flags you for review. Rapid prototyping ends because you can't invent in privacy. Old pre-banned slicers on USB drives are contraband. They become currency. Your printer will keep a permanent history of everything you've ever made. It will listen to the audio in your room. It will take photos of your workspace. And if it detects an anomaly, a shape it doesn't like, it notifies the authorities. The only safe printer is a dumb printer. Old machines become gold. GitHub is scrubbed. Thingiverse is nuked. The internet is sanitized of everything except approved trinkets. If you want a file, you don't download it. You meet someone, you pass a micro SD card, hand to hand. The sneakernet returns. Underground communities, encrypted chats. We become criminals, not because we're hurting anyone, but because we refused to stop printing. Does that sound crazy? Like it's straight out of a science fiction movie? Because that's exactly the world that I've been building in my short films. Now, if you want to see what the future looks like, the raids, the smugglers, the risks, I actually started telling that story last year. I've got a new playlist here on my channel that explores this dystopian world with a lot more coming. Now, it's a mixture of both fact and fiction, so there's some 3D printing fact mixed with a little bit of this dystopian future, and if you're interested, I'll have a link in the description. Go watch them. For the good news, as far as this legislation is concerned, we are not there yet. We can still stop this. These bills, Washington 2321, Washington 2320, and New York A2228, they rely on us staying quiet. They rely on us thinking that it won't happen. Now, I need you to contact your legislators right now. Be calm, be respectful. Show them that we are engineers, that we're artists, and that we're teachers, not criminals. Tell them to vote no on this overreach. And if you want to help me keep telling these stories and keep fighting for a right to make, consider joining the Resistance. It's my membership tier here on YouTube. You get behind the scenes access to the studio, and it'll help fund these short films, and you can help us keep fighting and keeping the signal strong. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the series, and I'll see you in the next one. And YouTube, it wants you to go watch this one right here, so go do it. And don't forget the playlist in the description. Thanks. We'll see you in the next one.